Welcome, Caroline.
Hello.
I'm so excited to have a chat with you about your experience of going through the Master NLP and Master Breakthrough Coaching course. I actually feel like I need some pom-poms. I went and ordered some yesterday.
Are you serious? I need one.
I say it all the time. Like, I feel like I need to cheer you on. So I actually bought some yesterday. I don't know if I'll end up using them, just for the record.
I love this.
But I just said it so many times, I had to just do it. So, Caroline, do you want to share with everyone who you are and what you do?
Yes, so I'm Caroline Reid. I've been self-employed now for 11, nearly 12 years, been coaching for 3.5, 4 years. I have twin boys, so I run my coaching business around my nearly 1.5-year-old twins. And so I'm a life coach, transformational life coach, master NLP, CBT, and the timeline therapy as well, and the hypnotherapy. So, and I work with a very varied client base, and I blinking love what I do.
Yeah, and you get your clients amazing results as well, which is incredible. So you've just completed the Master NLP Practitioner course. So talk to us about like where you were before doing the training and what made you decide to do the training.
Where I was before is because I've worked more within the mental health and recovery aspect of coaching and sort of therapy side. And what I found was the tools and techniques that I had were almost the surface level. And intuitively, I would go a little bit deeper into the more unconscious with the work that I had done previously. But I just knew that there was more, especially around the law of attraction and manifestation, and actually enabling people to understand that they are at cause and they do have control over their lives. So there was that level to it as to why I really wanted to sort of dive a bit deeper into the more unconscious level of the therapy side. And whether it was recovering alcoholics and drug addicts, helping them to create their new life path, or it's someone who is a CEO of a company and they're navigating their way through COVID, all of the techniques just fit into both somehow. And you would think that it would be completely different, but it all comes down to the mind. And I massively realized that. And my goal is to just have as many tools in my toolkit to really just be able to call on whenever needed.
Yeah. And it's funny, actually, just yesterday I had someone who was asking about the course, and she was saying, can I do business coaching afterwards? And I was like, yeah, and the tools and techniques will help you and support you to do that. Yeah. And then she said, what about narcissistic abuse? Is there something that helps me like support people to become, I can't remember the exact words she used, but something like become free of narcissistic abuse or overcome it after having gone through it? And I was like, yeah. But it is so varied, isn't it? And you'd really do work with like the people who are the CEOs of businesses, and then also people who have been, drug abusers, alcoholics.
Or anxiety is a big one that people come to me. I've got really severe anxiety and this and this and this and this. And really, when we actually break it all down, so much of it comes to the underlying limiting beliefs, the internal representation that they have of themselves, their lives. And from experience with narcissistic abuse personally, but I would say, as from going through the training, it really helps yourself. And once you begin to really heal and transcend and step into your power, it just becomes limitless when it comes to supporting clients.
Yeah. And you also work with young people as well, don't you?
Yeah. So when I was in the mental health area, I was doing a lot of work in schools. Now it's just more the odd private sort of session. And you know what? I love it. And I think a goal that's definitely come through doing the NLP is to be able to create a program or something to support the parents as well as the children, because it's definitely a double-edged sword, if you like. But you can just use it with everyone.
So you've just completed the master training course. I know you didn't do practitioner with me, but you have done practitioner training and then you've done my master practitioner training. What would you say has been like the difference between the practitioner and the master practitioner?
The practitioner is for me, it was the understanding of what goes on underneath the surface, how much we can distort things depending on our upbringing, depending on our belief system, our values, and then really getting your teeth into. I remember explaining that I felt like I'd been to like this magic school and I've come home this like magician, this like mind magician. And I felt like I had these like secret powers that everyone, do you know what I mean? Like everyone could have, but I was like, oh, and most conversations started having, I was like, I get the underlying thing where that's coming from. And then the master was, it's kind of in the title, it is that you can really go to those depths and seek out and transform on just a different level. Yeah, I would say the master for me has really helped impact my clients. We were doing great transformations before. Now there's just that kind of like little tip of the iceberg, sorry, the like cherry on top kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. And after going through it with me on the live training, what would you say was like the biggest takeaway? Because you learned how to implement the tools and techniques, but you also received them as well. So you immersed yourself into the experience of receiving and also delivering. What would you say was the biggest takeaway for you?
Biggest takeaway for me. So it's that thing as we sort of go throughout the training, it's like, okay, think of a problem which you may have, or think of a habit which you'd like to release, and it kind of gets to the point where you're like, I think I'm all out. But every time, all of a sudden, when you think outside the box, you're like, actually, this is something that is probably holding me back in this area. And yeah, some of the things that came through for me on the master was like, I didn't really think it would be a big thing, but I was like, oh, we'll just use this. And then when I actually thought it through and we did it, I was like, actually, that could really impact me moving forward now. And it seems so insignificant at the time, but actually it's going to have a big impact. So yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Like I always think sometimes we think of things and they seem so small and little to us, but actually they have such an impact in the quality of our lives and every single day in the way we think, which has an impact on how we project out and our behavior. So yeah, that's amazing. So if there was someone who was thinking about, they'd done practitioner, but they were thinking about doing master practitioner, what would your recommendation be?
My recommendation would be, of course, if the intuition is there and that gut feeling, just do it. It's such a life investment for yourself and others. But if you really are looking at, if you are a coach and you're wanting to really step into that, I think it just gives you that additional confidence in yourself as a coach. So
Yeah. Yeah, it really supports you to make it your own as well, doesn't it? Like you said, bring you to that master level. Amazing. Thank you so much, Caroline.
Thank you.